Hello and welcome to What's Past This podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm James.
I'm Damian.
And I'm Robert. And on today's episode, we are talking about a recent play that we have all been a part of, which is called Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair by Mike Soul.
And if that's your thing and you're watching on YouTube, why not like, comment and subscribe?
And if you're listening to us on any other platform, please hit that follow button. So as you said earlier, Rob, you three were acting in the play and I was just part of the crew for Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair.
Yep.
So, what did you all play?
Well, I played a character called Charles, who's my usual sort of wet blanket / posh boy type character that I usually end up playing.
Otherwise known as playing himself.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not with himself, just himself.
Bit of a Tory boy, which I'm not, but this character is.
Mm-hmm.
If you say so,
Yeah.
Boris's biggest fan.
Shut up. I flipped Boris Johnson off, I'll have you know.
You did what to it?
I flipped Boris Johnson off, I'll have you know.
Now I want to know
Going
about
on my
that.
tombstone.
I want to know about that stuff to play.
Did I tell you that? Oh, that was because he visited Holyhead, didn't
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
he? Just happened to be driving down the road and saw this like convoy of. Well, first there was like 3 or 4 police motorbikes went past. So that's weird. What's going on there?
Mm.
And then this like convoy of blacked out 4x4 like Range Rovers went past, and I knew Boris Johnson was visiting, and I was like, that must be Boris Johnson. So I flipped him off out the car window. Yeah. So
Did you get any
I got just
reactions
the
from
thing that I'm going to put right on this part of the video. I got just the thing.
Oh, there we go.
Mr. Bean going,
okay.
Oh, you mean,
Yeah,
you
very
mean at
fitting.
the end of that film where he's just like going like all the time everywhere?
no,
That Mr.
No.
Bean's
where it's actually
holiday or
putting his middle
something,
finger up at someone. It's actually Mr. Bean doing it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Mr. Bean's holiday or Mr. Bean the movie or something, isn't it? One of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. It's the movie part. It's the last
Ah.
like
Yeah, 'cause he-
sequence at the end of the film.
Yeah, he was led to believe it's a way of greeting people, isn't it? So
Yeah,
he's
that's
greeting
it.
people like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And he shows his finger to a biker. Oh no, sorry. What does he do to the biker? I think he
Well-
takes a picture of the biker, and then the biker flips him off, and that's when he picks it up, thinking that it's a greeting. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that's it. That's it.
You've
Anyway, who are you
studied
playing,
these
Rob?
films then, have you, James? Rob, I mean.
I'm sorry. What was that? Okay.
You've studied the Mr. Bean films then, have you?
No, I haven't like studied them. No, I've just
Sounds
watched.
like it.
No, I've just watched those films like a million times. So, yeah. So to answer your question, James, the character I played was the Vicar. I only asked for a small part in this one because it was the Rap's first play in 2 years, so I didn't want to like sort of jump straight into the deep end in the first play back, and I quite like the small part anyway. But just because I haven't learnt lines, had to really learn anything in 2 years, so I just wanted the small part because of that. I enjoyed it. It was great to be back, and it was a decent play to come back to. So, yeah.
And Stephen, what did you play?
I played a character called Kevin Woods, who I would say is a bit of a mixture of Kevin, the teenager from the Harry Enfield and Chums TV show some years ago, and the common young yobbos you see on the street, really. He's a bit like that. He's a lazy, he was supposed to be late teens, early 20s, but because I'm a bit older than that, I had to play it a bit older. But yeah, he was like that, yeah. Bit of a thief, bit of a bad egg, but hopeless with it at the same time.
Yeah, I must say you play Gormless very well. I don't mean that as an insult. You are very good at playing like Gormless characters who are a bit slow and don't really know what's going on.
Some would say that's typecast.
No, I was just pretending I was Damian, if I'm honesty.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it was, as Rob said, it was the Ucheldre Rep's first production since before the pandemic started.
It was, yes.
So the first one since Death Trap, which was all the way back in November 2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which feels like an eternity ago
It
now.
does feel like a long time ago.
So it was nice to be doing like just a play.
Yes. It was nice.
And because we had been rehearsing a play called Wait Until Dark, which got cut off, obviously, by COVID. And that kind of, we could basically just sort of abandon that project and started from scratch, really.
And we did try and film throughout COVID one of Tom's movie ideas, but I think we kind of stopped halfway through, so we're going to have to start all over again, really.
It's on hold at the moment, isn't it, while we sort it all out.
Yeah.
Hang on, one of Tom's movies.
One of them, he's got plenty planned, apparently.
Has he?
Oh,
all right.
From what I've heard. From what I've heard on the grapevine.
Universe.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that. It wasn't.
Cinematic.
I said the Woolworks cinematic universe.
Oh, yes.
You know what? That'll be fun to see.
Yeah. So first play back in 2 years, and it wasn't only the first play back for the Rep. It was a first play that me and James has, panto anything to show that me and James has been a part of. So, how do you? And we had a little scene together where it was just two of us on the stage at a time. So how do you feel, James?
Not entirely true, Rob. Not entirely true.
Well,
you weren't the only two on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you were on the stage, but you didn't. Yeah, until James went off, you didn't have anything to say. Well,
no,
you had to cough first, but
that was actually a sneeze. But thank you.
Oh, sneeze. Sorry. Yeah.
He was hiding behind a curtain.
But yeah, how do you feel about being in a play with me, James, for the first time?
Put me on the spot there. No, it was good. It was nice to actually, because we've done like audio things before. Yeah. We've done the short film, and been part of productions, but we haven't actually acted on stage together. So that was, that was nice. Kind of felt weird to realise that we hadn't actually acted on stage before together. So that was, that was nice. It was a bit of an odd scene, but I quite enjoyed it being the having, it was a bit of a funny scene with some sort of awkward pauses that you could kind of milk. So that was, I quite enjoyed that one.
I suppose you were feeling quite cool compared to everyone else on stage there, James.
Well, I wasn't actually too bad, but I was not wearing very many clothes. It must be said.
No, and in the parts where there was awkward pauses, I always even though we rehearsed it and we went through it like many times, I always felt like I had forgotten to say something all the time, but it was just the awkward pauses. And I mean, I didn't have much to say in the whole play. As I said, I only asked for a small part, but still, just those pauses just always made me feel like, oh, have I missed something?
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that sequence, I mean, the play being a farce has, this kind of long sequence with like lots of people walking in and out at various points and stuff like that. And it's a bit, you have to be quite sure of like what the order of things is so you don't come on at the wrong point. Which I struggled with in I think the tech run or something.
And you had to remember if it was a knock at the door or to ring the bell. as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends
I
whose
made-
house you were visiting.
It depends whose house. Yeah. I had to. Anytime I came on, I was had to sort of make a note and get that in my head. Right, okay, I'm ringing the doorbell for this one, or I'm knocking the door for this one. I always had to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Well, from where I was from upstairs, I don't think it didn't look like any of you struggled. Really, kind of looked like it was seamless to me.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Damian.
yeah. Good.
Apart from that one time that the curtains came down on Stephen.
Didn't come down on me. It came down on Andy, actually.
Oh yeah, no. Lynn told me about that. Sorry, yeah.
That was just before the interval, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was one of those where it sort of all just fell into place on the dress run,
Yeah.
pretty much. And yeah, it was fine. We did 3 performances and they were all pretty good,
Yeah.
I think.
We had pretty decent audiences for all of them, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was about 40 odd or 50 odd for the first show. Second show was about 30 odd, from what I've been told. The third show was about 90.
Oh, I thought there
No,
was
I
more
don't
than,
think
I thought
so.
there
I
was
think
more
they were
than
all
that on
about
the
50.
first one.
The second one was definitely less than the others.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were all about. I don't know. I think the second one was about 50. I think I can't remember. I think it was like 60, 50, and 60 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think
Six.
so.
60,
No.
50, 50, all around that kind of
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
The last show was definitely more than the first anyway as well. So you went off with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last. I
Boy,
think the
what?
last performance was the best. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It felt a lot more smoother and like, we didn't like miss any lines or. I don't mean as far as I'm aware, we didn't. We didn't do anything wrong like in the second one. I mean, the second one like was okay. Like we still got through it, but I think we all felt a bit like about it, But I think I think even in the second one, like the audience still enjoyed it, which is the important thing. But
Yeah.
you do sort of beat yourself up like when you do a mistake or when you miss a line or something.
To
You
be
do feel bad
fair,
afterward.
to be fair, the audience during the second show, wasn't worried about anything on stage. They were more worried about the gentleman in the audience with a hearing aid.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that was
That was,
went on
an
for quite a lot of the
interesting
first half, didn't it? It's a high pitched ringing sound of a hearing aid.
Ian went down after a while to tell him to turn it off or something, and he did. 5 minutes later, he put it back on.
Yeah. It was as Ian like walked away, he turned it
That's
back
it,
up
yes.
again.
Yeah.
It's like really,
Just to go on something you said earlier about making mistakes and that on stage. The thing you need
Yeah.
to remember is it doesn't matter if you make mistakes because the audience don't know how it's supposed to go.
No.
So you
no.
can and carry on and get away with it, and they wouldn't know. They just think that's part of the show.
I think
Yeah.
there was one time that someone
Unless
almost
some
forgot a
idiot
line.
comes in with a book and reads it as they're performing it. Yeah, there's always going to be one who does something along those lines.
There was one time that I can remember someone forgot a line, but it felt like the most perfect pause, and it got a bit of laughs from it.
Ah.
I forgot who that was, and I forgot when it was, but I remember it happened. I'm not imagining it. I'm not dreaming. Something happened.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we should probably talk about what the actual play was about and stuff.
Yeah. The synopsis for Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair is as follows. A hilarious, fast-moving comedy. A dysfunctional working-class family run into difficulties when the daughter decides to marry posh Charles, which is James. The son has given away the vase that held the savings to the vicar's jumble sale and father's pub lottery group win. But he didn't buy a ticket. Can anything else go wrong? It can when he decides to do a robbery. That's what the synopsis says in the official script. So, hope that made sense.
Barely.
I don't think it's I don't think the synopsis is very well phrased because
No.
It's
It
not
kind of referred
really.
to Charles all the way through, didn't
I
it?
found another synopsis. It's a bit
Yeah,
longer.
Go on,
Okay.
So you've got the first bit that Rob has just said about where Roxanne, daughter, is going to be marrying the upper class twit Charles. And then the vicar then calls to collect some donations for the jumble sale to raise money and stuff for the African Water Project. And the son, Kevin, played by myself, gives her an old vase, not knowing what was actually in it. Then, as the family gather around the TV for the lottery numbers, it looks like the luck has changed when the pub syndicate win the lottery. But whilst he collected the syndicate's stake money, Bob failed to buy a ticket. In desperation, the family embark on a nighttime robbery so that they can afford the wedding and pay back the syndicate. Disguised in knitted balaclavas, they break in. But then they find a canoodling couple, are disturbed by the owners returning from holiday, and the vicar turns up too.
Yep, I was there at some points.
Hello, vicar. Have I seen you?
Oh, hello. I was just wondering if you had any bric-a-brac for the church jumble sale.
We tend to buy things at jumble sales, not give them away.
Oh, it's anything will do, you know. Old clothes, some books.
Oh.
So, what did we think of the script?
I mean, yeah, I think it was all right. Like, you know, it was good. It had his obviously funny points. You know, it's nothing like, you know, big special thing, but yeah, it's a lot better than I can write, than anything I can write. And yeah, overall, I liked it. I mean, it felt a little bit short though. I think it was 24 pages in the A4 version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it's okay.
Yeah, I think it was slightly awkwardly paced as well, really, because it was written in 3 acts.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With the
forgot about
idea
that,
being that there's 2 intervals, which for a play that's only about an hour and a half long is pretty ridiculous.
It is, yeah,
So
I agree.
we ended up because we were talking about, should we just do the first one or the second one? But if we do that, it means that either the first half or the second half is only 20 minutes long or something. So we found a place right pretty much in the centre page that worked fairly well as an interval point. So we just put the interval there, but it then caused confusion with referring to Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 scene. So we started calling it Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3, and so on. But yeah, I think as a, you know, as a sort of farce, maybe you don't want it to go on for like too long. So I think it was, when we split it like that, it was probably the right kind of length. But in a way, it was nice to do something slightly on the shorter side.
Yes. I wouldn't have said it was a full-on farce, but it was on that kind of wavelength.
Yeah, I think it might have been better if it had been more explicitly a farce, like, because you have the whole thing of the family mistaking the vicar for being the fiance, and all this kind of stuff, which is very much a sort of farce thing. But then that's kind of, they sort of figure that out partway through, rather than it being something that builds and builds and builds until the ending. But yeah, it was, you know, it was all right. It's fun little thing to do, really. I thought there was some, you know, decent sort of comedy bits in it.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, it's not that much to say about it really as a play. It didn't have much sort of social or political commentary or anything like that.
No, not really. It didn't, did it?
Suppose you could talk about the British class system or something like that, but you'd be
I think that's the only
clutching at finding any meaning to it, I think.
Yeah, true.
Well, we did get a few comments on the rap Facebook page from the author.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was nice, and he did share some of our posts about
nice
it.
of him.
Cool. So was nice, and yeah, it was nice to get. Like, I mean, that's I don't know if it usually happens a lot. I don't know, but it's never happened to me where I've done a play where the author's sort of commented on a post, or so that was nice, I thought. So I just thought that would be worth a mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of, well, not intentionally, but it's a sort of 20th anniversary thing, because I think it was written in 2002.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I think so. So I think for him, maybe it was a nice thing that this thing's being produced 20 years on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think it has to be said that there is a sequel to this play.
Yes, there is.
Oh, yeah.
It's Oh Comrades, What a Lovely Pair or something.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
And there's a brief synopsis about that. The dysfunctional Woods family from Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair are back. Now, Roxanne is getting ready to marry Posh Charles. Hectic preparations are underway. Even Bob has taken a job to make ends meet. Pity the mix-up in the park with a Russian mafia smuggler. ... It's not telling me what the rest of it is because it sounds to get it off.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's set about 6 months later, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a couple of weeks before the wedding's supposed to be on, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I read up a little bit about that one, and I know what the lovely pair is in that one.
Oh.
The lovely pair in question in the play that we did is a pair of vases.
Yes, in Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair, yes.
Yeah, play a sort of crucial plot point.
Worthless on their own, but priceless as a pair.
From what I've heard, Lynn wanted to do Oh Comrade, What a Lovely Pair sometime after this show.
Yeah, in Script Club, yeah.
No. If you let me talk. Lynn wanted to do it in on the stage, but due to recent events, thought it'd probably be better to do it on Script Club.
Oh,
yeah, probably given given the current geopolitical situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a fair point.
But it'd be interesting to read it.
Regardless, it'll be an interesting read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned Lynn Cuffin, who directed.
Yes.
Who directed the play. Previously directed 2 different rep productions in 2019.
Yeah, 3 tables and
Last
bread pudding.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't think I watched them.
No, I missed both of those. I think I was at uni at the time, but yeah, that was while Tom Warwick, the main director, was off ill.
Yeah.
But he's back now for the next one.
Were you in both of them, Rob, or just one of them?
No, I was only in the 3 tables one. Yeah, so I was in one of 2. So yeah, 3 tables. It was just very simple, straightforward. Like I didn't have to like move around the stage or anything.
No, it's true.
We were just like, we were just in our pairs. Obviously having the 3 tables and just in our pairs. So yeah, and
I had to move off stage and on stage once, but that was it.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. My character had to go to the toilet.
Oh right. Oh yeah. I do. I do remember that. Yeah.
Wait, that was your character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lynn's sort of directing style. She's quite laid back, not too sort of dominating, like maybe some directors are. It's very much like my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Buster. But yeah, I think she did a good job and made some sort of changes as we went through rehearsals and found that certain things didn't work as planned and things like that. So
something about this play I've noticed, I can't explain exactly why, but it feels a lot like more refreshed than any other Repertory Company show. Like not just the Angharad Repertory Company, others too. Because I've been on YouTube and I've been searching because I was bored. But it just gives a more refreshing feel to me for some reason, and I can't explain it.
Yeah, I think it was a bit different. I think I liked the set design. I thought was better than what it says in the script, because in the script it's the sort of front door of the house is at the back of the stage, which, given that there's lots of people walking in and out of the front door, and also there's like a sofa in the middle of the stage as written in the script, so that, and when we started blocking it, it was like became evident that would be really make everything really closed off. A lot of the action would have to happen upstage behind this big sofa, and so I think it was. I think Lynn did a good job in that she kept it. She made changes to it to make sure that it wasn't too sort of clunky and stuff. So I think it did feel a bit more lively than it might otherwise have done.
Yeah,
and to be honest, the backstage crew as well have definitely made the show look great. Like another thing about the show that I liked was you can see the scene changes instead of us closing the tabs, kind of thing. So the backstage crew all worked together to move all the set around, move the 2 armchairs that was used as a sofa into 2 separate parts of the stage, and it just looked really good to me. Looked not magical, but gave that feeling of magic.
Yeah, I think I'm increasingly feeling like I don't like using the tabs in shows. Particularly when it's like, oh, the scene ends and then someone has to hear someone pulling the rope to close the tabs. I quite like the idea of the things, the tabs being open throughout, and if you see the scene change, it's better to, you're seeing the mechanics of it. I quite like that. So yeah, no, I agree. I think that was part of what it made it not feel too much like a sort of classic sort of Amdram thing.
I do wish that we did have maybe like the tabs close at the end, after like the curtain call, as I think that just because we didn't have like a sequence to get off the stage. We just like the lights went off and we just sort of walked off. So I think it might have been like just like a small little nitpick improvement thing.
A tweak you would have made.
Better. Yeah, tweak that. Just have the tabs closed just at the very end. But like I understand that it's when you think about it, like it's just opening and closing the tabs, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Like you have to
really pull on them.
Yeah, exactly, to make it a smooth motion. So I understand, like, we didn't really have anyone that can do that, and I think that was the reason why we just had them open anyway. But yeah, that was just like a little tweak, nitpick thing that I would have changed. So
yeah, I think especially as we'd done the sort of finale, that was a bit more choreographed. It wasn't just like a lot of just straight drama, or plays, just characters line up at the front, lights come up, bow. There's the song, which we'll talk about in a minute, but the song that plays and different characters coming in, so it's a bit more like a kind of musical theatre piece, which again just made it feel a bit more fun.
So just a question that just came in my mind. I think at least one point, even myself with such a small part, I think we all probably made at least one mistake in at least one of the shows. What do you guys think is your like the worst mistake that you made?
Stephen's got a major intensive thinking face on right now.
I'm trying to think if I did make any mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think I made any mistakes in the shows.
No.
I was nervous about forgetting some lyrics from this, because we had this song that Lynn came up with, a verse and a tune, got me to set it to music, and then there were 3 different versions, so I did the other 2, the lyrics for the other 2. But those lyrics were written. The rest of the lyrics were written like a week or 2 before because I kind of went, oh Christ, the play's in like 2 weeks. I need to sort that out. So I was kind of worried that because the lyrics were similar and stuff like that, I'd get those wrong. But I just about managed to sort of keep it in my head. I don't think I don't think I made any mistakes. I think I slightly fluffed one line in the first performance, but that was it. But I did make a few mistakes in like the tech and dress runs.
Well, by any chance, when Lynn gave you the lyrics to the song, was it a very similar situation to Mind the Pooh? Or was it prepared beforehand?
It was no. I knew she wanted a song, and that's what. It wasn't just a complete non sequitur. But she also came up with the tune as well, so it was a lot easier for me because all I basically did just had to figure out what chords to put with it and arrange it. People kept blaming me. So, people kept saying, "Oh, thank you for writing that song. It's been stuck in my head for a week." And I said, "Well, I didn't actually write the tune, so don't look at me."
Yeah, but that tune's now a bloody earworm. I still can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Lynn's tune. That's the point.
I did sort of catch myself. I think at the end of one of the shows, like starting to sort of say the words to it, but then I was like, no, stop. I don't want that to get in my head like everyone else. No, stop. So it hasn't gotten in my head. So I'm
hasn't really
fighting
gotten
it off.
in my head either, to be fair.
No.
No.
Okay.
To be fair, I've been trying to rickroll myself just to get the song out of my head.
But yeah, it was kind of fun for me as well because I got to sing the song live in the show and out front of the stage during the scene changes. So I was playing the acoustic guitar live as well, which I hadn't done in a show at the Ucheldre, I don't think, because it always just had all the music pre-recorded. But so it was nice to do a little bit of live music.
And how did you feel with obviously you were on stage with at a couple of points or 1 point at least with hardly anything on, so how did you feel about playing a song live without hardly anything on
going into the audience as well?
You had the pressure of playing the guitar, singing while not dressed, so
and right in front of the audience, yeah. I don't know. Obviously, I've never performed in my underwear before. Also stripping off on stage as well, so that was kind of
one of the shows your own mum was watching.
Yeah. Thankfully, she came to the last show, and by the time of the last show, I was actually, I think after the dress run, after I'd done that in the dress run, I felt mostly fine about it. But yeah, I think going into the audience was slightly scary, but then it was also cool because there was very clearly a reaction.
Wolf whistles.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
That was just Damian and Ian from the balcony.
Yeah. I'm proud to say I got wolf whistled 3 for 3 nights, so thanks very much. Don't know if it was ironic, but anyway. But there was obviously a sort of reaction from the audience of surprise, and they found it funny and stuff like that.
Especially the ladies. The ladies loved it. They're like, ooh,
so it was,
woo.
Yeah, so it was not. It was nice that it caused some kind of reaction or whatever that was, funny and surprised and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, the ladies will know your name now, James. Granted, they're about 80-year-old, but the ladies will still know your name.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was sort of quite strange undressing, but also it was just people are surprised and are laughing, so that kind of just made it. I was like, well, I know what the reaction's going to be, and that'll be nice to when you get a laugh is always nice. So
yeah. It reminds me of I can't remember if it was the taco dress. I can't remember which one. but I don't know what happened because I wasn't expecting it. Like the little scene that we have, James, with I come in and I'm like, oh, I forgot my hat, blah blah blah, and I go sit in the chair in the corner. That bit.
Yeah.
When you open the door with nothing on, I wasn't expecting it. Because I was like, I'm sure he's not. He has like something on during that bit. I wasn't so I was like, oh yeah. I came round earlier collecting jumble with raising money for a village in Africa to have an irrigation system installed. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, to be fair, it added to it, so
it did, yeah.
But I suppose at that time you're like, "Ooh, Charles, what a lovely pair."
Yeah. But just out of curiosity, like, why didn't you not have enough time to put something on? Like, what went wrong? Because I couldn't see. I was behind the set, so.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. It was so the bit where I undress is the little sequence before that where Andy's character comes in, and he came in too early, so I was still mostly.
Yes.
I'd only I think I'd unbuttoned my shirt, and that was as far as I got before he knocked on the door, and then because it was only the dress run, but or the undress run as I called it, but it was like, oh well, I can't stay in character and carry on undressing when there's someone knocking at the door, so I had to do that scene mostly clothed, and then came out. It didn't make sense, but basically the reason I did that was because I was kind of nervous about it, and I wanted to do that in the dress run so that I felt okay to do it the next night, which is why I did that. But in the subsequent performances, I put on a dressing gown before I came on to do that scene with you. So yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting. It wasn't expecting it when you opened the door. I was just not expecting it.
Yeah, it was quite funny actually. That you were obviously like quite sort of awkward in that scene.
Yeah.
I think it worked. I think it fit nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Stephen was on stage for all of that, right?
He's in the curtain.
Yeah.
No, he was back there for certain.
Yeah, I sort of occasionally saw you out of the corner of my eye, sort of reacting to things and making gestures and so on.
I thought at one point, but I think it was just probably the trick of the light. He was doing the tosser hand gesture.
I don't remember doing that gesture.
Yeah.
I think it was a trick of the light.
but not in front of the audience or anything, behind the curtain. But above your head though, like not anywhere else.
Was he scratching his head maybe?
Probably.
Possibly.
It kind of looked like he was just like doing the gesture. But behind the curtain. What is it with that light you had on your head as well?
That was my torch for going in burglary.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you forgot to turn it off at one point.
No, I was told to leave it on for a bit
Right.
after we bit behind the curtain because it can still be seen. So I was told to leave it on for a bit because apparently it was hilarious. Was it still on
the stage crew liked it, didn't they?
They did,
I think it was in maybe the dress run. It was just an accident, and they said, "Oh, that was funny. Keep it in."
Yeah.
So I was there from upstairs. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? As Steve forgot to turn his thing off. Yep. He's turning it off, and about 10 minutes later, he turns it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he's definitely forgotten it. He's definitely forgotten.
No, I hadn't forgotten it. It was on purpose.
And you had a bit of an accident in the dress run, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah.
You also broke a vase.
Yes, I broke the vase and I wasn't supposed to.
That was you?
Yes, it was me.
I was wondering who broke it.
I was doing my bit at the end, when I supposedly break the vase at the end, but it was a sound effect. So as to save it for the other shows, I actually did break it. All you heard was me going, oops.
Do you realise how long it taken Paul to just 3D print one of them and he printed 2, and then suddenly he's got asked to print 2 more.
There was only one that broke. I apologised. He seemed all right. When I
I made a point in the after show party of saying, and thanks very much to Paul for his lovely pair of pairs.
Yeah.
You did, yeah. But by breaking the vase sleeve, you actually fixed another problem.
Oh, there we go. See, it was intentionally on purpose.
Yeah.
Accidentally on purpose. There we go.
Because I thought of it like when we did the curtain call for the first time. The song. I don't know the exact words, of the song, but it says like, one vase is worthless and the other one's broken. But like if I came on with like 2 vases that was still, intact, then, the thing of like the vase breaking earlier on, kind of would like not make sense. But I guess, people obviously know that it's just a play, but it just makes more sense if we had like a broken, prop vase anyway. So yeah, by accidentally breaking that vase, you fixed that issue. So
well, to be honest, it kind of looked like when you were coming out with the 2 vases for the curtain call anyway, it looked like you were drunk stumbling on stage, like for all of the shows. I didn't want to tell that to you because I'm like, okay, the last thing I mentioned to him, he said he was intentional with about all the So, so I assume this drunk stage bow was all intentional.
Yeah, no, everything I did,
Damian.
No, everything I did, like I always think it's important, like whoever's directing the play, like because it's sort of like their play, like they're directing it. So I think it's always important to sort of listen to what they're saying and do what they want. What I was doing, I was told to do.
So you were told to drunkenly go on stage. I got you.
James has gone very dark behind you. It's like a dark.
Yeah, I didn't switch my lights on before. Yeah, I need to switch the lights on.
It's all right. It's an improvement.
Actually, funny you should sing "Sound of Silence" there, because that was one of my I say sound check, one of my sort of warm up songs.
Which version? The Simon Garfunkel or the Disturbed one?
Simon and Garfunkel, but I was doing that, and America by Simon and Garfunkel was my little warm up, clearing the frog out of my throat song. Yeah.
Thought you'd have been doing Springtime or something.
Oh God.
No, God no. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's especially it's like if you're singing the song 3 times in the show, it's like I don't want to have to like warm up with that song as well. So I want to do something else.
Yeah.
Favorite line from the play?
I guess my favorite line would probably be the "Oh Vicar, what a lovely pair" line, especially on the final show, because we actually got a reaction from the audience on that line. So yeah, that was good. And I think it came at a good point as well, like towards the end, and yeah, that was one of my favorite lines I can think of straight away.
I got a favourite line in it, actually, to come to think of it. It was Lynn's character to James. It's like the first thing Lynn said to you, James. What was it exactly?
Oh my God, Charles, what are you, some sort of pervert?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the line. I enjoyed that line. Because he came on with the ski mask, specifically because he came on with the ski mask. And that just got me.
Yeah. But yeah, in my underwear with the pink balaclava ski mask on, because it's like trying to hook up with the fiance, and don't realize that the parents are home, and then come downstairs and walk. Yeah, that was quite funny as well, because like the audience reacted to that. So I think mine, well, I liked the bit where Stephen's hiding behind the curtain and the vicar discovers him, and that you did that little sort of pulling the curtain back disbelievingly going, no, putting it back, and then opening it again, and then Stephen goes,
"Hello, Vicar."
From upstairs, you can see Stephen's cheesy grin through his balaclava as well.
Which I think it was a shame it didn't seem to get a big laugh from the audience, that one, which that was, to me, that was like the funniest bit.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of
I think so, yeah.
I remember it was the
Yeah, I got a
second
bit.
one. Second one, we got more of a reaction with that. Like I was sort of expecting a little bit more, but
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah.
Hey.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes certain lines that you don't even think are particularly funny, if at all, get reactions, and ones that you think are really funny don't get reactions.
I think if it was me out, if I could make one small tweak to that scene, it would be you hear Stephen cough or sneeze. It was sneeze, wasn't it? Yeah,
It was.
yeah. You hear it was definitely a sneeze. You can hear Stephen sneeze. Rabbit walks up to the curtain, checks behind it, notices Stephen, closes it, think nothing's there, walk away, stops, and thinks to himself, hang on, wait, walks back, then opens it again. The little subtle change of just walking away and coming back again.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, because it was at the back of the stage, maybe doing that might have made it a bit more obvious or big or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the line where Andy's saying about says to me, do you like skiing? And I say, oh yes, I do. I can't wait to go on the piste again in a few weeks' time. And he says, well, I enjoy a drink myself, sir. I thought it was quite nice. Yeah.
And of course, Andy doesn't drink, so makes it even more funny, really, for us, really.
Oh yeah. On the topic of alcohol, unexpected benefit for me was that Stephen was drinking a can of lager each night on stage, and you got like the cheapest, most horrible generic lager from Morrison's.
I think it was about 3.5% alcohol.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it had lager written on it in large letters.
Yeah.
And Stephen would turn his nose up at finishing it and would give it to me after each show. So that was great.
So you could have potentially had Pissed Up Show.
Wow.
Pissed Up Production. Pissed Up Production.
Well, it was.
I mean,
it was
to be
after
fair,
the show.
I need more than one can, Dim.
Yeah, one can of 3.5% lager. It was.
I mean, that's enough to get Steve whacked.
No.
That's why he always turns the rest of it down, because he can't drink anymore. Because he's so drunk.
No, it's because I wasn't enjoying it. Although on one of the nights I'd almost finished it, hadn't I?
Yeah, it was a disappointing evening.
A favourite bit of mine that skimmed into my head was, I can't remember what was said before, but it was your line, Steve, when you said, I was behind the curtain. And I said, oh no, you were behind for certain, weren't you, Kevin? Behind for certain. And he was like, oh yeah, behind for certain, yeah. And then I think a bit further along, Andy said, oh, you need to go upstairs or something, don't you, Kevin? And he was like, do I? What for? I think that worked quite well.
Almost, Rob.
Sorry.
That's basically how it was. Not quite the right lines, but.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, it's not my lines. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the behind the curtain bit was one of those ones where it got sort of an unexpected laugh.
Every time, yeah, I'm behind curtain, and then Mike's character Stephen goes, "You what?" And Bob panics and goes, "He was behind us for certain."
To be honest, that is such a cheap joke that no wonder the audience had a good laugh at it.
Yeah.
Cheap jokes are the best jokes to have in theatre, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Any more?
I think all I'd say is just a big thank you to Lynn for all that she did for the show. Yeah. And great work in directing. Thank you very much, and look forward to working with you again. And also, thank you to all the backstage crew for all your help and support with the show, helping it run smoothly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, especially Danielle, who stepped in as prompt at last minute when Julie got COVID, which was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Big thank you to all.
and Paul for his lovely pears.
Pair of pears.
His pair of pears, yeah.
Ta-ra! And that noise sadly means we've come to the end of another show. If you liked what you heard or want to hear more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
This podcast is also available on a number of streaming services. Why not check us out on Amazon Podcasts?
Don't forget to check out the links in the description for our other channels and websites. And on that note, it's a see you on the flip side from me.
It's a good night and God bless from me.
And it's a bye-bye for now from me.
So, yes, it's been a while since we've recorded an episode, but it's been fun to be back. And yeah, thank you for watching another episode and, of course, for coming to our live performance of Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair. So, to play us out, we're going to play the song that we had in the show, which is called Oh Vicar, What a Lovely Pair. Thanks again, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Vicar, what a lovely pair you'll have. Vicar, what a lovely pair. Kevin's lost the vase and all the cash. Bob is in despair. Where will the vicar get his pair? Could be anywhere. Will there be a wedding without the money? Will they find it yet? Vicar, what a lovely pair you have. Vicar, what a lovely pair. Helen's lost her vase and her holiday's crap. England can't compare. After the vicar shows his pair, he could be a millionaire. But the woods are more skinned than an alley cat, and I'm in my underwear. Vicar, what a lovely pair you had. Vicar, what a lovely pair. One is now worthless, the other is smashed, and everything's up in the air. Charles and Roxanne might be getting married in a KFC